Hey, hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. I know I said I probably wouldn't be doing another video until the top 10 list came out for 2020, but I just had this pretty decent game in an F6F-5n Hellcat that I just couldn't let go, so I figured I would share it with y'all. Again, this is the F6F-5n, not the F6F-5, which is armed with 650 cals. This thing comes with two 20mm cannons with 462 rounds between them, along with 450 cals with 1600 rounds between those. So it's packing quite a bit of firepower. The 650 cals on the standard F6F are very good, but if you take two of those away and replace them with 20 mils, you get an even better aircraft. Unlike that aircraft, though, at 3.7, this thing is a rank 3, battle rating 4.3. So you will see yourself up at 5.3 matches with BF-109 G6s, FW-190A5s at 4.7, the A5U12 at 5.3, things like that. And this thing is not very good. Let me just throw that out there. I'm not saying I dislike this aircraft. I really do like it. I like the look of it. But it's just so underperforming with what you have to fight and who you're fighting with that it's negligible. I mean, it's nice to have, but and the 20 mils are good. I mean, at a down tier, but it's not very good, especially in an up tier. I've already played like 7 matches today almost, uh, just to get this one. This was the 4th match, and it was the best one out of the 7. So, yeah, and it's only a 2-kill game unless you count all the AI I decided to mop up for points. So you really need to have your altitude and energy squared away before you do anything in this aircraft. And with a climb rate of only 10.9 meters a second, you're not climbing very quick. The thing's speed is also pretty damn horrendous. It'll go about 606 kilometers per hour in a dive, but I've never really gotten there. But I haven't really dove from 4,000 meters down to the deck, so not sure what the rip speed is because, again, you just can't get this thing going fast enough. And when you're climbing, you're a very big sitting duck, so I would highly suggest side climbing. Yeah. Also, it's got a 21.8 second turn time, which is okay, I guess. I mean, it's not the best in the book, but it definitely is not the worst. I mean, it's not a heavy bomber turn time, but it's definitely not an A6M50's turn time. It's just kind of in the middle. Most American aircraft are sort of in that middle area when it comes to turning, whether it's P-51s, F6F, F8, yeah, English is difficult, F8Fs, things like that. As you can see, we're just kind of side climbing right now. The runway is kind of off to my, I don't know what you'd call that, maybe about 2 o'clock low-ish, couple kilometers that way. I see this J21. I also see this Yak 9. I was debating whether or not to go for the Yak 9, but he gets lit up here pretty damn soon by this P-51 that zooms through. So I decide to turn in towards this J21 that is over here. He was gonna be going for an F6F as well, who was climbing. He was gonna try to zoom climb him from below, but luckily I was there. Also, the radar makes this thing okay when it comes to fighting in the clouds. I mean, it was designed as a night fighter. There's a history documentary about night fights. So if you want to go watch that, just look up Dogfights History Channel, Night Fighters. They kind of feature this aircraft with its wing-mounted radar that the British developed and that the Americans were able to utilize. Because obviously before that, the radars were massive and had to be fitted on things like Mosquitoes, P-61s, BF-109, or BF-110s, excuse me, not 109s. That'd be really interesting, seeing a wing-mounted radar pod on a BF-109. Gaijin, look that up. But yeah, as you can see, I start losing a lot of speed going vertical. Had this guy just dove on me, I would have gotten erased. But he was target fixated, and so it allows me to pop some shells off, end up ripping up his wing. He starts leaking oil and fuel, as you can see there. I turn around on him, blow a chunk of his wing off there, you see. I think that might have been structural damage, though, from the first pass when it said that I damaged his wing, and I think he bailed out. So that was my first kill of the game. Again, go right back for altitude, because if you lose it, you lose speed, and if you lose that, you lose your plane. Funny enough, there wasn't a whole lot around me, though, at this point in time. Just, you know, me and a few friendlies. We did a fairly good job of killing most of the enemy team. Something happened a little later in the game that I kind of foresaw happening, because it happens almost every time you see this start to happen, which is people over an airfield. But I'm not over an airfield, I'm over the AI, which I start to go and mop up a bit of, because I still have a lot of cannon ammo and a lot of 50 cal left, and these A20Gs are not that tanky, so just come in, dive at high speeds, come in, just light him up. He explodes. The fuel tank, that's a pretty good explosion there. I really like the new updated explosions. So he's the first one. There's my second one. So if you count these as actual kills, not that they really are, that would technically be my second kill of the game, but I'm not really counting them because they're not players, and they're not really that difficult to deal with. I mean, a brain-dead chipmunk sitting on a chair could probably figure out how to kill one of those without getting killed. Just come in from above or the side, keep your speed a little high, and make sure you have cannons or something. You know, BF-109s, FW-190s, the F6F-5, things like that. Things with cannons or a lot of guns do very well at this. There you go. Get a critical hit, pop his oil. Just keep firing. You can see hits hitting him there. Rip the wing off. I wasn't going to waste any more on that because he rolled over, like most AI do when you blow their wing off, and he goes into the ground there. I'm at the top of the leaderboard for only one kill and cleaning up the AI. There's the airfield over there. I was debating whether or not going back to rearm, but I decided to stick around because I've still got like 90 some cannon rounds and a couple 150 cals. So I figured I would just kind of use those up on the rest of the A20Gs, kind of secure my spot at first place. But yeah, this is not how the first 4 games of my day have gone, and it's also not how the other 2 after this 4th game really went, or other 3, excuse me. So yeah, it was this was the only good game. It was kind of saddening, but again, if you get up tiered, you're kind of SOL. Come in, pop his oil on his #1 engine, just blow his fuel tank up, and that's me out of cannon ammo, and I only have a couple rounds of 50 cal left, so I decide I'm gonna go back to base. I'm gonna skip ahead to when I actually kill the last player. So yes, here we are. I decided to take HVARs because of what happened now in the game, which you kind of missed in the last like 10 minutes of me basically flying back to base, taking off. Most of our team got wiped out by AA, so I thought that he would be sitting on the runway, and so I brought rockets so I could just blow him up instead of having to shoot him with the guns. But I pop a blind hunt, he pops up, he's no longer on the ground, and so I decide I'm going to dump those because those are extra weight. The thing doesn't need any extra weight. The thing is like flying a brick up a hill on roller skates. So I start climbing a little bit. You know, I want to keep my speed, because if you have your speed over like 350, 400 kilometers an hour, you turn really quickly. You will notice that when I engage this guy, that this thing turns very quickly, but also loses speed very quickly. So I guess having the 20 mils is good because you can quickly, put some shots into him. If you miss, whip around and then finish him off before they can get away, and you blow out your speed. So that is one plus. He's about 4 kilometers out right now. I start turning in. I wasn't quite sure what Spitfire variant this was at this point in time. It just says Spitfire, as you can pretty clearly see. Unless you can't see, in which case, well, sorry. But I thought he was going to go head on, but apparently he didn't like that, so I roll over a bit. He starts making weird maneuvers, and I just light him up. He also has acrobatic smoke on, which is kind of funny. Take a clip, hit his aileron, and he dies, and that was the end of the game. So 2 kills for the game, a few AI, and a fun time overall. So yeah, on to the results now. Once the tickets all run out. GG, boys. So for the results, I got first place for the team, made 9,000 mod research, 3,000 or so XP, got the wings, Air Force badge for killing 300 people, so that's a pretty good accomplishment for me. Fighter, Rescuer, Avenger, Final Blow, Terror of the Sky, and a little battle thing. Just quickly upgrade this, make sure to get the cover and stuff, and engine injection. Make this thing maybe a little bit faster and a little more pleasant to fly instead of flying a brick. So yeah, that was the F6F-5n. I know I didn't say I was going to make a video. I was probably just going to live stream until I put that video out for New Year's. But this was a pretty decent game in this, and I'd been playing all morning and I was getting kind of frustrated, so it's nice that we were able to get this. So yeah, without further ado, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. I'm almost to 200 subscribers, which is awesome. And yeah, have a great day. Reds out.